Cannot happen again this year. As we know, Andrew Billings suffered a torn pec somewhere mid-season. That did dissipate the run defense somewhat. However, the defense was abysmal, to say the least, when it came to stopping the run all season. And pass rush pressures and sacks were not the things that the Bears did well, and that will absolutely show itself in your secondary by not getting those requisite amount of picks, turnovers, so on and so forth. And so we look for ways that the Bears can solidify the defensive line by finding a defensive playmaker. Some would say that the defensive end to match Montez Sweat opposite side would be the most important thing on the line. However, as I've seen with great quarterbacks like Tom Brady, if you apply pressure to the middle, you can get the greatest of quarterbacks to go ahead and tap dance and lose all credibility as being the great ones that they are. And so for me, personally, I do believe that the Bears could focus on someone in a free agent capacity. Maybe it'd be a Milton Williams from Philadelphia, Super Bowl champ, going to command a lot of money this year. Still young, I think he's 27. And so I do believe he has the opportunity for the Bears to go ahead and, one, solidify them in that gap. He can play all gaps, the 3 and the 0, in terms of techniques. And frankly, he's a proven commodity. While I would take somebody like a Mason Graham from Michigan, you would go out there and try to get you one of those younger prospects. And because while I like Mason Graham, he may be the top prospect. There are several other defensive tackles and defensive ends in the draft. As I think that while this may not be the strongest draft, it has been alleged to be one of the deepest drafts in terms of fortifying both sides of the ball, offensive line and defensive line. And so with that being said, maybe the players that you get are not day one starters on defense. Maybe you've already addressed those through free agency. And so Milton Williams, Andrew Billings comes back healthy, and Javon Dexter takes a step in the forward direction again. I think he can improve so much more than last year, and he did have improvements. And that gives you what I think is a nice triumvirate. If that doesn't work for you or tickle your fancy and you want to be a bit cheaper and go draft and a cost-efficient defensive tackle, Detroit has a guy by the name of Leroy Onwuzurike. I think while he may command more of a proven penny, he would not command the dollar amount of a Milton Williams. Still allows you to be flexible to draft a Mason Graham if he were to fall to you at 10, or even, like I said, we're trading back later into the first round or something to that degree. Maybe you focus on it in the second or third round. But I do believe that Milton Williams will be the ideal. And I do want to stock everything with a veteran presence and fortify everything through the draft. If that can be achieved, I think that gives you the best chance for every player that you've drafted to grow and properly develop. And it also gives you the opportunity for immediate success right now. And while we talk about immediate success right now, there are several guys that have vaulted themselves way up the draft board on the defensive end, outside of, what do you call it, the two main defensive tackles, which would be Smell the Roses, Miss Raquel Rose. We are talking football. We are trying out something a bit different today, a little bit of a camless stream. Usually I have co-hosts. Those guys are away being parents, and so we are focusing in on the wish list of the Chicago Bears 2025. Mercer University Bear. All Bears work for me. Golden Bears, Grizzly Bears, Brown Bears, and Mercer Bears. I am an Alabama State Marching Hornet myself. No bear there. But hey, with that being said, we talk sports all the time. I am a Chicago Bears fan. And as I stated, we are talking defensive tackles right now as my wish list for the Chicago Bears and how I think they can address the offseason. I really want some different results. I do believe that comes along with trying things a bit different. And so, with that being said, I just gave out my particular favorite for a free agent signing, which would be Philadelphia defensive tackle Milton Williams, a 27-year-old mammoth of a man. Plug up the middle, and they can also go ahead and draft someone. With that being said, I move on to the defensive end, and I will be by to check out some more of your content today or tomorrow, I should say. I do appreciate you pulling up, hanging out. Thank you for the subscription. As you know, I am daily trying to grow. We are working on things daily to put out content, and sometimes that content actually comes via emails. It comes via my Discord and things like that. So we're working out ways to be better on YouTube, as I have been a live streamer on Twitch for about 3 years. YouTube is a new beast, and I am learning daily that it's a beast that I have to go ahead and learn how to tame. To be able to do that, we're going to talk defensive ends. And Josh Sweat, Khalil Mack. The Mack is back. Khalil Mack actually played for the Bears 2018 through 2021. Khalil's a bit more longer than tooth now. I believe Khalil is 36. Older by football standards, but still with 5.5 sacks last year. And I believe 16 the year before with 7 in one game. Khalil still adds enough pinch or bite in your free agent market to go ahead and sign him to maybe a 2-year deal. Gives you the flexibility to have him get a lot of money up front, pair up with Montez Sweat, and you also get to go ahead and draft a proverbial young guy, whether it be the Sheard cat from Texas A&M, any of the other young guys that kind of drafted themselves or vaulted themselves to the draft board during the combine. You can go for the all-out, I think, de facto number one defensive end in free agency, which is Josh Sweat. The Philadelphia Eagles will have a lot of people on this list because obviously they're the champs, and when you are the champion, people want to poach all of your players because they look the best right then. People smelling those roses at that point, to use a pun, and they want the best of their team. And everyone who's on the championship team is seen to be the best, even if they're not. So they're going to be up for heavy paydays, or hefty paydays, I should say.